Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at a new Pokémon TCG Pocket set. And this is a big set. And I know I always say it's a big set. Although, to be fair, they've done lots of big sets in a row, so I still contend I'm right about this. But they've gone Eevees. They waited a few months, but they've finally gone Eevees. They've gone for a full Eevee set. And ladies and gentlemen, we know that people like Eevee sets. We know in the main TCG, every time there's an Eevee set, it's a very big deal. Well, we've got an Eevee set coming in here. And if I may be so bold as to say so, this is a very big deal. Now, the set is coming out on June the 26th, which some of you may realise is not actually very far away. It is, of course, called Eevee Grove. It is coming out on June the 26th. And there is a press release. It doesn't actually tell us that much. Although we know lots. It's just the press release doesn't say much. It says that they've announced a new set for the popular Pokemon trading card game Pocket app. It's called Eevee Grove. It's coming out on June the 26th. And in Eevee Grove, players can discover and collect new Pokemon TCG Pocket cards featuring the Pokemon Eevee and its 8 Eeveelutions in dazzling illustrations depicting their lively expressions and dynamic personalities. To celebrate the release of Eevee Grove, players will soon be able to obtain a new card binder and display board featuring these fan-favourite Pokemon. Yay! Here they are. This is what they look like. You'll notice there's an Eevee EX. Don't worry, I'll tell you all about Eevee in just a moment. But yeah, that's happening and that's lovely. So we have an Eevee set, and having an Eevee set is a big deal. It's always a very big deal. Is it going to do anything to competitive Pocket? Well, let's have a gander now, shall we? Because we've got a bunch of cards, and we might as well start off with that Eevee EX I told you about just a moment ago. And what we've got from Eevee EX is 90 HP, which is terrible for a 2-point Pokemon. Single Energy 30, which doesn't hit for weakness, I grant you, but it's actually pretty good. Single Energy 30 is actually pretty nice. No, it doesn't hit for weakness, and yes, that sucks. But still, Single Energy 30, especially turn 1 going second, that, ladies and gentlemen, ain't too shabby. But it's an Eevee, it's the evolution Pokemon, there's an ability. It's called Eeveevolve, which is beautiful. This Pokemon can evolve into any Pokemon that evolves from Eevee if you play it from your hand onto this Pokemon. But it follows the usual rules. You cannot evolve it on your first turn or the turn you play it. But as long as you wait a turn, you can go and evolve it up, and jobs are good'un. Awesome. What Pokemon do we have? Well, we got a few. Like Flareon EX, for instance, which has got the ability Combust. Once during your turn, you may attach a fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon, and then do 20 damage to this Pokemon. Fun little side note, do remember we've always got that Wigglytuff, and that Wigglytuff will heal 20 damage. So what you can actually do here, if you want to get a little bit fancy, is basically play around with Wiggles and this, and then you don't really need to worry about it. Just kind of putting that one out there. And then you can essentially get a free energy every turn, and life is good. It's then free energy 130, discard 2 of them. But of course, you get 1 back with your ability, and then 1 is your attachment for the turn. And actually, you can chain 130 here. And not only can you chain 130, but you can chain 130 from turn 2. Turn 1, Eevee and attach an energy. Turn 2, evolve up, attach an energy, use the ability. Oh, look, you've already got the energy that you need here. This is sneaky pretty gosh darn good. And we've seen in the regular TCG, having an Eevee EX can be a really big advantage because you have a lot of HP. And it's actually going to take a while for your opponent to be able, they're not getting a turn 190. That's just not happening. So I'm just telling you right now, this Flareon's good. Sylveon, for some reason, we got to look at the full art. Why? Don't really know, but we've got to look at the full art. So let's have a look at the full art here. And we've got the ability Happy Ribbon, Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may draw 2 cards. This is nuts. I adore this. And here's the thing, right? Eevee and Eevee EX are different Pokemon. They have different names. So you can play 2 Eevee in your deck, and you can play 2 Eevee EX in your deck. So it's not just a case of, oh man, I'd love to play that, but nah, mate, you're fine. And seriously, we've all seen how good Professor's research is at just drawing 2 cards. We're playing 20-card decks. Drawing 2 cards is legitimately awesome. This is a really fun ability. 2 energy 70. Maybe if you're hitting for weakness and you get going nice and quickly, it's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible. But I'm just looking at this and going, hang on a second here. This one could actually be very nice, if nothing else, and has a nice little bit of a draw engine. Also, side note, I really like the Eevee with continuous steps, because there's a chance you're going to flip a lot of heads and win some games cheekily very early. Now, they're the EX Eevees that were shown off, but we did have some other Eevees that were revealed as well. Like, for instance, Espeon. Single energy, 20 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So if you're playing against decks that accelerate a whole bunch of energy, this one's going to be good. We've also got ourselves a Glaceon coming in here, which has got 2 energy, and it does 50 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I don't love 2 energy and you only do 50 damage. I don't love that you don't get to direct it and you only do 50 damage. It is inconvenient. Not ideal. Could be better. Now we have ourselves a Jolteon as well here. Single energy, 40 damage, but if it evolved this turn, it does 20 more. This is busted when you go first. Go first, evolve into Jolteon. Your opponent's had 1 turn, but they can't evolve because they've only had 1 turn. Then you evolve up your Eevee or Eevee EX into Jolteon, and then do 60 damage straight away, 80 if you're hitting for weakness. But there's a lot of 60 HP basics in Pokémon TCG Pocket. We're always looking, at least I'm always looking, for single energy stage 1s, so that if I go first, I've got a good attack on the first turn I can attack, or at least attach energy, which is turn 2. Love this. Big fan of Jolteon. It's kind of a one-time deal, but I think it's going to win enough games. It will absolutely be worth it. We got ourselves a Leafeon coming in here. Single energy, 10 damage, plus 20 more for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. Do remember that we do, of course, have the Superior, which essentially doubles up your grass energy, which is lovely. But, yeah, I do feel like this is just not quite good enough. It's not going to get there fast enough, I'm afraid. Hey, I could be wrong, but that's where I'm thinking here. We got ourselves an Umbreon, single energy 40, and if the defending Pokemon is a basic, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. There's a lot of decks out there that are all basic. This will literally shut them down. However, it is just a defending Pokemon. They can retreat around it, but after a while, they're going to be out of retreating cards and energy and all of that, and you will be able to shut them down with this. They might just get off an attack or 2 first. In a game that doesn't have good switching and has a lot of basic decks because you're kind of encouraged to play them because of the whole 20-card deck thing, this could be busted. And then Vaporeon, free energy 70, flip until you get tails. For each head, discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. I know that this is more expensive because we've got Misty and we can accelerate energy that way, but this still feels way too expensive. When I'm looking at these Eevees, I think Flareon could be nuts. I think Jolteon's got really good donking potential. Espeon is going to be good against some decks that play a bunch of energy. And don't sleep on Umbreon, which in some matchups could get you over the hump. Now, there was another trio of cards revealed, which is a little bit less exciting. We got a Milcery here. Single energy. If one of your Pokemon use Sweets Relay during your last turn, it does 30 rather than 10. No. That's not it. It does make me want a cake, though. We've also then got Alcremie, single energy, 40 for each time your Pokemon use Sweets Relay during this game. The problem is this is called Sweets Overload. So you need to use Sweets Relay on Milcery a bunch, doing 10 and then 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. I love that it's if one of your Pokemon, not if this Pokemon. So if you got knocked out, switched to the bench, whatever, it still stacks. But no. There is a good meme deck coming in here, but I do feel like you got low HP and you're just going to be swarmed way too often here. But we then did get a Swirlix that has Sweets Relay as well, so we are starting to get a few options. I don't think it's going to be great, but watch out for the meme potential with this deck. And then weirdly, the trailer only gave us 2 extra cards that weren't given us as, nice clear scans on the press release. We got ourselves a Penny, who has an Eevee bag. Look at a random supporter that's not Penny from your opponent's deck, and shuffle it back into their deck. Use the effect of that card as the effect of this card. I actually really like this, because there's going to be a bunch of matchups where you can use this and get like an extra Professor's Research or something like that. This is a cheeky little supporter. You get to copy one of your opponent's supporters in their deck, and I'm just saying this could be kind of fun. And then we have the actual Eevee bag, and you get to do one of 2 things. Either heal 20 from each of your Pokemon that evolves from Eevee, phenomenal, especially when you're looking at stuff like Flareon, or during this turn, Pokemon that evolve from Eevee do 10 more damage, which again is going to be very fun for fixing those numbers. The set is coming out on June the 26th, that is next Thursday. We're not far away here. I already like these Eevees. I think Flareon could be absolutely nuts, and I think there's a lot of other fun that could be had here too. But I've told you all about it now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these. Tell me which ones you're excited about. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Star of Dav, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.